There is a silence that comes right before you give up. It is not a peaceful silence. It is a loud, deafening noise that only you can hear. It is the sound of your dreams hitting the wall of reality. It is the moment where the UK rain or the New York hustle feels like it is too much to bear. In this year of 2026, where the world moves faster than the speed of thought, we often feel like we are standing still. But I want to tell you a story. It is not a story about a king or a billionaire. It is a story about an architect who never built a house. Many years ago, in a bustling city that looks a lot like London or Chicago, there lived an old man named Elias. Elias was a stonemason. For 40 years, he woke up at 4 a.m. He drank his coffee black. He put on his heavy boots and walked to the cathedral they were building in the center of the city. His job was simple. He had to carve the back of the statues that were placed in the high alcoves near the ceiling. These statues were hundreds of feet in the air. They were tucked into corners where the shadows lived. One day, a young apprentice joined Elias. The young boy was ambitious. He wanted to be famous. He wanted his name on the front of the building. He watched Elias spending hours polishing the back of a stone angel's wing. The boy laughed and said to Elias, "Why are you working so hard on the part of the statue that no one will ever see?" He said, "The people stand on the ground. They look up. They only see the front. Nobody will ever know if the back is rough or smooth." "You are wasting your time, old man. You are wasting your life on details that do not matter." Elias put down his chisel. He looked at the boy with eyes that had seen decades of dust and stone. He said simply, "I will know." That is the sentence that separates the good from the great. I will know. In a world that is obsessed with likes and views and validation, we have forgotten the art of doing things for the sake of the standard we set for ourselves. You see, the problem with the modern world is that we are performing for an audience that does not care about us. We want the applause before we have done the work. We want the trophy before we have run the race. But the true legends, the people who actually change the world, they're the ones polishing the back of the angel's wing in the dark. This is the philosophy of the invisible wall. Imagine your life is a house. Most people build a beautiful front porch. They paint the door bright red. They plant flowers where the neighbors can see. But inside the house, the floorboards are rotting. The roof is leaking. The foundation is weak. They spend all their energy on the image and zero energy on the substance. But you are different. You are here watching this because you feel something inside you that rejects the fake. You want the real. To build the real, you must become an architect of the invisible. This means you do the work when nobody is watching. It means you hold yourself to a standard of excellence that is higher than what your boss or your family expects of you. When you cheat on your diet, nobody knows but you. When you skip that last set in the gym, nobody knows but you. When you cut corners on your project, nobody knows but you. But that knowledge is a poison. It sits in your subconscious mind and it tells you that you are a fraud. It whispers to you that you do not deserve success. However, the reverse is also true. When you push through the pain, when you finish the task to perfection, even though nobody will check it, you build a reserve of self. This self-respect is the most powerful currency in the world. It is better than the pound or the dollar. It is the feeling that you can trust yourself. And when you trust yourself, you become dangerous. You become unstoppable. Because you know that no matter what storm comes, your foundation is solid. Let us look at the year 2026. Technology is doing everything for us. AI is writing for us. Robots are driving for us. Comfort is the new religion. But comfort is a trap. Comfort is the soft bed that keeps you from waking up to your potential. The biological history of the human being is one of struggle. Your ancestors survived ice ages and wars and plagues. They did not survive so you could sit on a couch and complain that the Wi-Fi is slow. They survived so you could carry the torch of human potential further. You have to understand that your pain is not a punishment, it is a signal. When you feel resistance, when you feel like quitting, that is the universe testing the structural integrity of your character. If you break now, you were never ready for the success you asked for. Think about the bamboo tree. You've heard this before, but listen closer this time. For 5 years, the bamboo farmer waters the ground. He fertilizes the soil. He wakes up every single day to take care of a patch of dirt. For 5 years, nothing happens. No sprout, no leaf, nothing visible. The neighbors talk. They say he is crazy. They say he is watering dead earth, but the farmer keeps going. He is polishing the back of the statue. He is an architect of the invisible. Then, in the 5th year, the bamboo shoots up. It grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Did it grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? No. It grew 90 feet in 5 years and 6 weeks. Those 5 years were not wasted time. They were the time spent growing the root system. The roots had to go deep and wide to support the massive weight that was coming. If the bamboo had grown that tall without the roots, the first wind would have snapped it in half. You are in your root phase right now. You feel like you are working and nothing is happening. You feel like you are uploading videos and nobody is watching. You feel like you are training and the body isn't changing. You feel like you are saving and the bank account isn't moving. Relax. You are building roots. You are building the character that will sustain you when the success finally comes. Do not envy the people who blow up overnight. They are saplings with no roots. The first storm of controversy or failure will destroy them. You are building a redwood. You are building something that will last for generations. So what do you do today? You stop looking at the scoreboard. You stop checking the analytics every hour. You stop looking for the validation of strangers. You go back to your stone. You pick up your chisel and you carve the back of the wing. You do the work that is boring. You do the work that is hard. You do the work that is invisible, because one day the light will shift. One day the world will look up at what you have built and they will say you are lucky. They will say you are gifted. They will say it happened overnight. You will just smile. You will smile because you know the truth. You know about the early mornings. You know about the lonely nights. You know about the sacrifices that nobody saw. The UK needs leaders. The USA needs leaders. The world is desperate for people who keep their word. Be that person. Make a contract with yourself today. Not a contract to be rich. Not a contract to be famous, but a contract to be excellent. A contract to be undeniable. There is a version of you that is capable of achieving everything you have ever dreamed of. But that version of you is standing on the other side of a bridge. The bridge is made of discipline. It is made of focus. It is made of the ability to say no to cheap pleasures so you can say yes to expensive victories. Cross that bridge. Do not let this just be another video you watch. Do not let this be another dopamine hit that fades in 10 minutes. Take action. Write down the one thing you have been avoiding. The one hard conversation. The one project. The one workout. Go do it. Do it poorly if you have to, but do it. Momentum is the only magic we have. The story of Elias the stonemason ends quietly. He died an old man, still working on the cathedral. He never became rich. He never became famous. But centuries later, a restoration team climbed up to the ceiling to repair the roof. They've shone their flashlights into the dark corners where no human had looked for 300 years. And there, on the back of a stone angel, they found the most intricate, beautiful carving they had ever seen. It was perfect. It was flawless, and carved into the stone, in tiny letters, was a simple phrase: "For the love of the work." That is your legacy. Not what you get, but what you leave behind. Your life is the stone. Your choices are the chisel. What will you carve? Will you leave a rough, unfinished mess? Or will you leave a masterpiece that proves you were here, that you mattered, and that you gave everything you had? The clock is ticking. The chisel is in your hand. The stone is waiting. Begin. But holding the chisel is only the beginning. The real battle is not against the stone. The real battle is against the fog. You see, when you decide to become excellent, the world does not applaud you immediately. In fact, the world often tries to pull you back. There is a concept called crab mentality. If you put one crab in a bucket, it can easily crawl out. But if you put 10 crabs in a bucket and one tries to escape, the other 9 will grab its legs and pull it back down. They do not want to escape. They just want to make sure nobody else does either. In 2026, the bucket is your smartphone. The bucket is the negative news cycle. The bucket is the group of friends who tell you to relax. take a break, and that you are working too hard. They are pulling you down because your ambition highlights their laziness. Your discipline insults their comfort. And this is where the second chapter of your journey begins. It is the chapter of isolation. You must be willing to walk alone. There is a story about a wolf who wanted to be a house dog. The wolf saw the dog sleeping by the fire, eating from a bowl, and being petted by the master. The wolf sighed, "You are so lucky. You have safety. You have food. You have warmth." The dog smiled and said, "Yes, it is a good life. Come. Join me." The wolf was about to step into the house when he noticed something around the dog's neck. "What is that mark on your fur?" the wolf asked. The dog replied, "Oh, that is just where the collar rubs against my skin when they chain me up at night." The wolf stopped. He looked at the fire, he looked at the food, and then he looked back at the dark, cold forest. He said, "I would rather starve in freedom than be fat in chains," and he ran back into the wild. Most people today are the house dog. They have the collar of debt. They have the collar of addiction to entertainment. They have the collar of other people's opinions. They are comfortable, but they are not free. To be the architect of your life, you must be the wolf. You must embrace the cold. You must embrace the uncertainty, because in the wild, there is no ceiling on how high you can climb. Let us talk about the concept of the drift. It is the most dangerous force in the universe. It is not a sudden disaster. It is a slow, silent current. Imagine you are in a boat on a calm river. You put down your oars, you close your eyes, you drift. It feels nice. It feels easy. But while you are sleeping, the current is taking you toward a waterfall. By the time you hear the roar of the water, it is too late to start rowing. This is how dreams die. They don't die with a bang. They die with a whimper. You skip one day of gym, then 2, then a week. You delay writing that book for 1 month, then a year, then 10 years. Suddenly, you are 60 years old, looking at a mirror, wondering where the time went. The drift caught you. The only way to fight the drift is with intentionality. You must grab the oars every single morning and row upstream. It is tiring. It is exhausting, but it is the only way to stay in control. In the UK, they have a saying, penny wise, pound foolish. It means being careful with small things, but reckless with big things. We do this with our time. We spend hours saving $5 on a sale, but we waste years in a job we hate. We spend hours arguing in comment sections with strangers, but we won't spend 20 minutes reading a book that could change our mindset. You need to audit your life. Where are you leaking energy? Where are you leaking time? Think about the pilot of an airplane. If the pilot adjusts the course by just 1 degree south, nobody notices. The passengers continue to eat their peanuts. The plane feels steady. But over the course of a 6-hour flight, that 1 degree shift means the plane lands in a different continent. You are the pilot. Your daily habits are the degrees. If you read for 30 minutes a day, that is a 1 degree shift. If you complain for 30 minutes a day, that is a 1 degree shift in the opposite direction. 5 years from now, those two paths end in very different places. One ends in wisdom and wealth. The other ends in bitterness and regret. Do not wait for the perfect time. The perfect time is a myth. It is a ghost. In 2026, the world is chaotic. Markets are crashing and rising. Technologies are changing. If you wait for the traffic lights to all turn green before you leave the house, you will never drive. You have to drive through the yellow lights. You have to navigate the traffic. You have to build the plane while you are flying it. There was a potter who taught a class. He divided the class into 2 groups. To Group A, he said, "You will be graded on quantity. I want you to make as many pots as possible. If you make 50 pounds of pots, you get an A." To Group B, he said, "You will be graded on quality. I only want 1 pot from you, but it must be perfect." When the grading day came, a strange thing happened. The best pots did not come from the group trying to be perfect. The best pots came from the group trying to make quantity. Why? What? Because while Group B was sitting around theorizing and planning and worrying about making 1 perfect pot, Group A was getting their hands dirty. They made mistakes. They made ugly pots. But with every ugly pot, they learned. They understood the clay better. By the time they made their 50th pot, they were masters. You are paralyzed because you want your first video to be perfect. You want your first business idea to be $1 million hit? It won't be. Your first pot will be ugly. Your first attempt will be messy. Make it anyway, then make another one, and another one. Quantity leads to quality. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the ingredient of success. You cannot bake the cake without breaking the eggs. So, here is your command for the next phase of your life. Be aggressive with your action and patient with your results. Most people are the opposite. They are impatient with results. They want it now, but they are passive with their action. Flip the script. Attack the day with violence of action, but go to sleep with the peace of knowing the seed is planted. The invisible wall you feel. It is not made of brick. It is made of fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being good enough. But remember this. Fear is just excitement without breath. Take a deep breath. Turn that fear into fuel. The world is filled with talented people who are unsuccessful. The world is filled with educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. As you stand here today, realize that you are the author. The pen is in your hand. The ink is your sweat. The paper is your days. Do not let someone else write your story. Do not let society dictate your chapter. If their story so far has been sad, turn the page. If the story so far has been boring, introduce a plot twist. You have the power to change everything in a single moment of decision. The moment you say no more is the moment your destiny shifts. Keep carving. Keep rowing. Keep running in the fog. Because eventually, the fog will lift. And when it does, you will not just be standing at the finish line. You will be the finish line. You will be the standard that others chase. However, we must address the silence that comes after the decision. You have decided to change. You have decided to row upstream. But now you face the most difficult enemy of all. It is not the haters. It is not the economy. It is the plateau. There will come a time, perhaps 3 months from now, perhaps 3 years from now, where you are doing everything right, but seeing zero results. You are hitting this stone, but it is not cracking. This is the graveyard of potential. This is where 99% of people quit. They say, I tried, it didn't work. And they walk away 5 minutes before the miracle happens. You have to understand the physics of a breakthrough. Look at water. You can heat water to 211 degrees Fahrenheit, and it is just hot water. It is stagnant. It does not move engines. But add just one more degree ticket to 212 degrees and it becomes steam. And steam can move a locomotive. Steam can power a city. That 1 degree makes the difference between being hot and being powerful. Most people live their lives at 211 degrees. They are working hard. They are sweating, but they lack that final 1 degree of intensity. That final push when they are exhausted. That turns their effort into power. You must commit to the 212th degree. In this modern age of 2026, we are surrounded by illusions of speed. We see the viral stars and the crypto millionaires, and we think the process is fast, but nature does not rush. Yet everything is accomplished. Look at the Grand Canyon. It was not carved by a giant hammer in a single day. It was carved by water, the softest thing on earth, acting with consistency over time. Flowing water cuts through rock not because of its strength, but because of its persistence. Be the water. Do not try to smash the obstacle in one day. Erode it. Wear it down. Show up every single day until the obstacle has no choice but to disappear. Let me tell you about the theory of the empty room. Imagine your mind is a room. For your entire life, society has been filling this room with furniture you did not choose. They put in the chair of self-doubt. They hung the painting of play it safe. They laid down the rug of what will people think. Now, the room is so crowded you cannot move. You cannot dance. You cannot build. To create a new life, you do not need to add more. You need to remove. You need to drag that old furniture out to the street and burn it. You need to unlearn the idea that you need permission to be great. Unlearn the idea that money is evil. Unlearn the idea that you are defined by your past. Your past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. You don't live there anymore. If you look in the rearview mirror for too long while driving, you will crash. Keep your eyes on the windshield. The windshield is huge for a reason. The rearview mirror is tiny for a reason. Where you are going is infinitely more important than where you have been. Consider the concept of entropy. In physics, entropy means that everything in the universe naturally moves toward disorder and chaos. If you leave a garden alone, weeds grow. If you leave a car alone, it rusts. If you leave your body alone, it gets weak. The only way to create order, the only way to create strength, is to inject energy into the system. You are the energy injector. Your will is the force that fights the chaos of the universe. Every morning you wake up, you are at war with entropy. If you do not attack the day will attack you. There is no neutral ground. You are either growing or you are dying. UK culture often values modesty, and American culture often values loudness, but true power is quiet. Have you ever noticed that the richest man in the room is usually the quietest? He does not need to prove anything. He knows. The lion does not have to roar every 5 minutes to remind the jungle that he is a lion. His presence is enough. Build that kind of presence. Build a reputation so solid that your name enters the room before you do. When people hear your name, they should think of 2 words: quality and consistency. We're living in a time where trust is the rarest resource. People do not trust the news. They do not trust politicians. They do not trust corporations. If you can become a beacon of trust, if you can be the person who simply does what they say they will do, you will have no competition, because everyone else is busy lying, exaggerating, and cutting corners. In a world of fakes, the authentic man is king. In a land of plastic, the diamond is worshipped. Be the diamond. And remember, the price of the diamond. It is heat and pressure. If you are feeling pressure right now, if you are feeling the heat of stress and anxiety, do not run from it. That is the earth making you into something valuable. If the coal runs away from the pressure, it remains a lump of black dust. It is only by staying in the fire that it becomes unbreakable. Embrace the fire. Tell the universe. Is that all you have? Turn up the heat. I can take it. You have to develop a relationship with boredom. We are addicted to stimulation. We scroll, we swipe, we click. We are terrified of being bored. But greatness is born in the boredom. An athlete doing the same drill for the 10,000th time is bored. A writer editing the same sentence for the 50th time is bored. A master coder debugging lines of text is bored. But they do not stop. They fall in love with the boredom because they understand that boredom is the tax you pay for mastery. If you only work when it is exciting, you will never be a master. You will be a tourist. And tourists do not leave legacies. Think of your life as a movie. We are roughly in the middle of the film. The character who has faced struggles. You have been knocked down. You have lost friends. You have lost money. But this is the part of the movie where the montage begins. This is the part where the music swells. This is the part where the character gets up, wipes the blood off their lip, and decides to train harder than ever before. Do not disappoint the audience. And the audience is your future self. Your future self is watching you right now through the lens of memory. 10 years from now, you will look back at this moment. You will either look back with gratitude or with regret. You will either say, "Thank God I kept going," or you will say, "I wish I hadn't quit." The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. Choose your pain. You cannot avoid pain. You can only choose which type you will carry. So, as you step out into the world today, whether you are walking the rainy streets of London or the sunlit avenues of Los Angeles, carry this truth with you. You are the architect. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you the blueprint. You have to draw it. You have to lay the bricks. You have to mix the mortar. And when you are tired, when your hands are blistered and your soul is weary, remember Elias, the stonemason. Remember the carving in the dark. Remember that the things seen are temporary, but the things unseen are eternal. Build for the unseen. Build for the standard. Build because you are a human being, and the greatest gift you have is the ability to transcend your circumstances. Rise up. The world is sleeping. It is time for you to wake up. It is time for you to work. It is time for you to show us what you are made of. This is the final truth you must carry with you. There is a specific day waiting for you in the future. It is the day you will take your last breath. On that day, you will not worry about your bank balance. You will not worry about how many followers you've had. You will not worry about the opinions of people who did not matter. On that day, only one question will echo in the silence of your mind. Did I use everything I was given? Imagine standing before your creator, or standing before the universe, and being shown a video of the person you could have become. Imagine seeing a version of yourself that was fearless, a version that wrote the books, built the businesses, helped the poor, and loved deeply. A version that did not hit the snooze button. If that version looks like a stranger to you, that will be your hell. But if you look at that video and say, yes, I know that person, that is exactly who I became, then that will be your heaven. The distance between those two realities is measured in the choices you make right now. In Tisacon, we often think that we have time. We think that 2026 is just another year. But time is a thief that never gets caught. It steals your youth while you are sleeping. It steals your opportunities while you are hesitating. You cannot arrest this thief, but you can outrun him. You outrun him by living with urgency. You treat every day as a separate life. When your head lifts off the pillow in the morning, you are born. When your head hits the pillow at night, you die. What you do in between those two moments is your entire legacy. Do not be fooled by the noise of the world. The world will tell you to be average. The world is designed to keep you in the middle, safe and sedated. But you are not made for the middle. You were made for the edge. The edge is scary. The edge is lonely. But the view from the edge is the only view worth seeing. You must become a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not run around the island looking for boats to save. It just stands there and shines. It stays grounded in the rock. It withstands the crashing waves and the howling wind. And by simply being strong, by simply being bright, it guides others to safety. Be that lighthouse for your family. Be that lighthouse for your community. Stop trying to change people with your words and start changing them with your example. When they see you working, when you are tired, they will work. When they see you kind, when you are angry, they will be kind. You are the standard. So here is the final instruction. Close your eyes for a moment. Visualize the mountain of your potential. It is high. The peak is covered in clouds. It looks impossible. But you do not need to jump to the top. You only need to take the next step, just one step, and then another. And when the fog is thick and you cannot see the path, you step anyway. You step with faith. You step with courage. The chisel is in your hand. The stone is in front of you. The world is waiting for your masterpiece. Do not leave this planet with your song still inside you. Sing it loud. Sing it true, and do not stop until the work is done. Go. Your time is coming. Keep believing. Keep fighting. Don't just watch. Go out and prove them wrong. Thank you for being part of the journey. If you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.